Hello everyone and welcome back to the podcast. Today I wanted to explain why I believe AMD has a $1 trillion opportunity ahead in the inference market and why I believe that this trend is going to send the stock up 20 times higher over the long term. Essentially, inference is a technological trend of our lifetime and AMD is best positioned in the entire semiconductor industry to capitalize on it. So let's get deep into it. Generational wealth is created by surgically betting big on the most inevitable trends of your time before everyone else does. That's how Rockefeller did it with oil, and that's how I bought AMD heavily in 2014 and then Palantir heavily too, way before it became the top performing stock in the S&P of 2024. In this video, I bring you the equivalent of someone telling you that oil was going to change the world in 1859. I believe that the conclusion that I share in this video is really of a similar importance. In short, the economy is becoming an inference machine. Big tech has invested nearly $200 billion on AI infrastructure in 2024 in the pursuit of training the best models. Nvidia has been the major beneficiary of this trend, but now those models are going to be used to make predictions. Making predictions or inferences is how these models actually deliver value. This means that while training AI models is important, the money is now actually going to move to inference. The economy consists of people processing information in order to figure out what action to take next, which is essentially a prediction. With inference, machines are set to take over a large percentage of that cognitive activity. As we collect more and higher quality data, we are going to be able to delegate a growing volume of decision making to computers until the economy is simply a big machine that makes inferences while we enjoy life or pursue goals in the outer creative realms. 15 decades after Rockefeller bet big on oil, the economy is now essentially a machine that burns fossil fuels and translates them, converts them into products and services. Energy from fossil fuels is converted into value via the decisions collectively taken by humanity, increasingly assisted by information sharing technologies. This has exponentiated global real GDP since, as you can see in the graph that I show on the screen now. By decreasing the cost of decision taking to zero in the vast majority of scenarios, inference is going to exponentiate world GDP again, but in a much shorter time. Inference will also power robotics, which will enable us to convert decisions into actions at a marginal cost as well. Inference is therefore going to have an outsized impact on the economy in the decades ahead, and inference today is like oil in the 1870s. For me, the most obvious way to bet on inference at present is AMD. AMD's chiplet platform allows them to better navigate the thermodynamic requirements of inference by mixing and matching different compute units at will. As inference makes its way through the economy, it'll tend to run on small devices with more stringent energy requirements, making chiplets the right approach and frankly the only possible one. This is best evidenced by Meta's most recent bet on AMD's technology, which I talk about in depth in my last video. As of 2024, Meta is running all Llama live traffic on AMD's MI300X exclusively. I'll never get tired of saying the word exclusively in this context. In other words, Meta's top AI model performs inferences on AMD's technology only, and they're already working on doing the same with the upcoming MI350 and MI400 series. The two companies are now therefore engaged in a long-term relationship in which AMD is the key inference technology provider for Meta. This has been made possible by the chiplet platform, which has enabled AMD to infuse the MI300X with more memory on chip than competitors. More memory on chip means that you can fit larger models on the actual chip, thus reducing the distance the electrical signals have to go from the memory to the actual compute engine where inferences are performed. More memory means lower latency and thus faster and cheaper inferences. Meta is arguably the world's best capital allocator, which shows that AMD's tech truly has an edge in the market. While the rest of the world is stuck in training mode, Meta has already leveraged inference to make its family of apps tremendously addictive, enabling them to effectively, accurately predict what content billions of people across the globe want to watch next. At this stage, Meta is simply a large machine that performs inferences, and the rest of the economy will follow suit soon. As AMD continues investing in its software capabilities, the modular nature of its platform versus the monolithic nature of Nvidia's gives it a clear advantage in inference. Additionally, we will likely see an infinite variety of AI workloads emerge over the coming decades, each with its own specific computational requirements. The Meta partnership demonstrates AMD's ability to pounce on new AI workloads quickly and at a marginal cost. And so my view is that inference is likely just the start for AMD's AI journey. Further, inference is top of funnel for the entire AI industry. People don't want frameworks all models with lots of parameters, they want AI to do useful stuff for them. AI does things for people via inference, which means that within the AI hardware space, the earning power will naturally tend to accrue to the inference providers. The AI model you've invested billions in is useless if you can't make inferences. This is hard to visualize now, but I believe this dynamic will give AMD pricing power over Nvidia in the future. While analysts continue to downgrade the stock, data center revenue has grown at 64.91% CAGR since 2020. However, the numbers shown in the graph on the screen now do not even begin to factor in AMD's inference advantage. Over the coming years, I believe we will see Nvidia-like revenue growth. Additionally, the story doesn't stop with their GPUs. AMD has been working on a relatively secretive technology that presents even further upside. Xilinx is the world's leading FPGA company by a wide gap. They are literally second to none. And by acquiring Xilinx in 2022, AMD has set itself up to dominate a new and emerging $200 billion a year business, which is called AI at the edge. FPGA stands for Field Programmable Gate Array, which is basically a chip that's able to change shape on the go. This kind of chip allows AMD to optimize AI workloads at the circuit level in a way that no other kind of chip can. As AI makes its way from the data center out into the edge/devices, FPGAs will be the only chip capable of running inferences at the edge economically. For a relatively small device to run any kind of neural network on demand efficiently, you need a chip that changes shape on the go to minimize the distance the electrical signals have to travel and thus minimize energy wasted in the form of heat. AMD's acquisition of Xilinx means only they have the technology to make this happen right now. In Q3 2024, Lisa Su announced that AMD's FPGA tech will be powering SpaceX next generation satellites. Much like the Meta deal, I believe this is a sign of great things to come for AMD's adaptive technology. I believe this technology will further enhance AMD's inference advantage, making it much harder to replicate for competitors. As always, thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed this, can I please ask you to share this with one friend? These deep dives are free, and so the only way this grows is with your help. Thank you very much. Take care, and until next time.